Happening now, the latest on what Jamestown Mayor Eddie Sundquist has to say about rising gun violence and the steps taken to combat them. And what a local group is doing to the Chadakoin River to restore it to its former glory. Plus, JHS Battle of the Classes has returned. The latest coming up.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Bronson Rasmussen. The latest local news is coming up, but first, let's get a check of our first weather forecaster with Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter. How's it going there, Dakota?
Hello there, folks. Happy Tuesday, Bronson, and happy Tuesday, everybody, as I slide onto the wall. This is a live look at the Randolph Peaches and Cream Skycam, and you can see those clouds around. Man, it's just a wet and rainy day out there. We've had rain showers across much of the region. In fact, here is a first offense Doppler radar for you. And again, we've had these rain showers moving on through. We've also had some embedded heavier downpours, as you can see with those yellow returns on radar. So again, this is pretty much going to continue through the afternoon hours today. But the good news is we're not seeing any lightning strikes. So much of this is pretty much just rain showers. Now, the Storm Prediction Center does have us under a low-end marginal risk, a level 1 out of 5 for the extreme southern tier further down into Warren County. The threat today is not looking over excessive, but if any thunderstorms do develop, the main threat here would be some gusty winds. So we'll keep our eyes on those, but the threat's relatively small. 77 was the high yesterday, started the day at 60, 92 and 35 are the records. So through the afternoon, occasional to widespread rain showers, maybe a couple rumbles of thunder could be possible. Much cooler, 63 to 70, and it will be breezy with wind gusts possibly around 35 miles an hour. Now it's pretty much going to be a wet week. Plus, I've got an early look at the Jamestown Pride Fest forecast. We'll talk about it with that Ultimate Satellite Solutions 7-day a little bit later on in the show, Bronson.
All right, we'll see you then, Dakota. Jamestown Mayor Eddie Sundquist addressed the City Council at their Monday night work session about the new gun laws signed by Governor Kathy Hochul earlier that day. The legislation passed will increase the age to purchase a semi-automatic rifle from the age of 18 to 21. The laws also prohibit the purchase of body armor unless it is required for your job, among other forms of legislation. While this new legislation will help with the amount of legal gun issues, it will not help with illegal guns.
Illegal guns are a problem on our street. Ghost guns, 3D printed guns, all problems.
The gun problem does not only affect others, Mayor Sundquist adds. Gun-related issues can be found everywhere.
It's here. It is in the city of Jamestown, and it's something that we need to address.
The Jamestown Police Department keeps a board to track the amount of days the city goes without a gun-related incident. As of the City Council meeting, that number was at its highest, only 4 days without an incident.
We're at 4 now, so a weekend. A weekend. And I want to remind folks that this weekend alone across the United States, there were countless numbers of gun violence incidents.
With 11 new laws in place, the hope is that the amount of gun violence will go down. But as Mayor Sundquist says, this is just a step in the right direction. A new venture is moving into the old Ruby Tuesdays building in Lakewood. Buddy Brewster's, operated by the same team that owns the Village Casino in Bemis Point, the Chop House on Main, and another Buddy Brewster's location in Fredonia. The location will provide outdoor seating, a mini bar, and a competitive menu for the Lakewood area. Currently, workers are preparing the building for its fall opening date. At the time of reporting, we have reached out to Buddy Brewster's for a comment and are waiting for more information. As time moves on, the price of gasoline continues to rise. AAA says today the national average is $4.92, more than 50 cents higher than it was a month ago, and almost $2 more than it was a year ago. As for New York State, the current average of gas price per gallon is $4.94, just slightly above the national average. The average price per gallon in Chautauqua County, however, is $4.73 per gallon, 20 cents less than the state average. With the trending rise of gas prices, the cost per gallon could reach record highs by the end of the summer. Jamestown Tarp Skunks suffered their first loss of the season against Newark Monday night. The Tarp Skunks faced off against the Newark Pilots in their second home game of the season. with the first being against the Olean Oilers in their season opener last week. Against Newark, the Tarpskunks lost 8-5. The team will return to the field to play again tonight in Batavia. After months of hard work, the team responsible for the Chadakoin River Revitalization program was able to provide an update on the progress being made to their corridor. Our Julia Gress has more.
Completing Phase 1 of the first year, workers have removed over 100 dead standing trees from the riverbank and an uncountable amount of debris that was blocking water flow. Twain Leanders, Chautauqua Watershed Conservatory's Ecological Restoration Manager, says the project will take place in multiple phases.
The project area spans what we call the lower Chadakoin River, which is from the Warner Dam all the way down to Tiffany Avenue, which is the Faulkner Town Line. It's 3.5 miles of river, believe it or not, within the city, 7 miles of bank within the city.
The goal of the project is to design and construct enhancements along the Chadakoin River to improve and increase public access to the waterfront and spur economic activity in Jamestown.
We started with the first one, which is really more of a damage control phase, trying to undo 40, 50, 60 years of just debris accumulating in the river and getting the river back into control so that we have a stable system to begin with.
The revitalization is expected to take multiple years to complete, given the span of the project. Since March, after working out terms with the DEC to safely lower the water level, the team has been clearing dead trees and other debris from the river and the publicly owned shores and banks. With Phase 1 mostly complete, the team will now move on to the next step, which includes the removal of invasive vegetation, specifically the Tree of Heaven.
In the meantime, we've been trying to start getting some community groups involved, and we're having some great interest from the Jamestown High School AP Biology class. And for the last few weeks, I've had 20 to 25 students out, starting to at least manually remove some of the invasives just to kind of get ahead of it.
Phase 3 would re-vegetalize the exposed banks to fill in what was removed in the prior phase.
Revegetation of the exposed banks to stabilize the banks, get the root system and grow everything together again using native species this time around is critically important.
Once the first 3 phases are complete, it'll be time for the city to plan what they would like to see on the waterfront. Proposed enhancements include signature gardens, murals, amphitheater-style tiered seating, placemaking items, a kayak launch dock, and even a welcome center for visitors. To improve navigation and safety, obstacles will be removed and safety buoys and navigation aids will be installed. Julia Gress, WNY News Now.
Julia, thank you. Before further work can begin, City Council must approve the budget for the upcoming phases funding after year 1 would potentially come from further grants from the state. Well, as WNY News Now continues, how an airport in Corey, PA is making some extra money with a drag race of all things. And later, the latest in a battle to try to calm the EMS crisis. Stay with us, as WNY News Now will be right back.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
What is going on, my New York friends? My understanding is that you're in school for a little bit longer than most people, but I got some good news for you. Where are you going to be on September 10th? In Jamestown, New York, with me at 7 o'clock at the Reglena Theater, and you can get your tickets at reglena.com, REGLENNA.com. Make sure that you grab those now. It's going to be so much fun. Jamestown, New York, September 10th. Come and have fun with me.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Catch your first defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
What could you lose in a home fire? Your possessions? Your home? Your memories? Don't let your world go up in smoke. Make sure you have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones, because fire is everyone's fight.
This message was brought to you by the Jamestown Fire Department and the Chautauqua Safety Village.
Celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer with a day of fun activities for children in the Jamestown area, hosted by Collaborative Children's Solutions and the City of Jamestown. The first part of the day happens at Northwest Arena, where both kids and parents alike can learn about activities available to youth. Later in the evening, finish out the night at the Tarp Skunk baseball game, along with a fireworks show at Russell Dietrich Jr. Park. Stop on down on Friday, June 24th, as we celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Did you ever want to get behind the wheel of your car and then just let loose and see how fast you can go? Well, you actually can. You can do it twice a year in Corey. Drag races are held at the airport there, and just about anyone can participate. Erie News Now's John Last found out for himself.
One of the many expenses for some communities is the operation of the municipal airport. And sometimes the smaller the community, the more difficult it is to raise the funds. But here in Corey, the airport has been getting some help. Drag races have been held on the airport runway for the past 2 years as a way to raise money for airport upkeep and equipment. The races began after some Corey businessmen reached out to Gary Dietz and Kurt Udig to handle the arrangements. It's been successful. It's not unusual to have about 100 drivers and 600 spectators showing up on race day.
We have room to grow, and the more that show up, the better off it is for the airport.
What makes this event extra fun is that a great majority of the drivers are not professionals, and the vehicles are what you would see cruising up the street or parked at the supermarket. Here's a Jeep Grand Cherokee SUV ready to race. It's on the starting line with its PA license plate, Pittsburgh Steeler decal, and a trailer hitch. Brian Mercer came here from Cameron County to race his pickup truck.
Oh, I think it's awesome. We get to come out here and test our vehicles out and have fun.
Anyone who wants to race pays a $25 fee, and their vehicle must pass a safety inspection. They can race as many times as they want. You can finish one race and then line up for another. You can challenge any driver you want. There's Mustang versus Mustang, Mustang versus GTO, and Big Blue Sedan versus Little Green Sports Car.
We just pair up with whoever you want to go with. Have some fun. It's pretty laid back. We try to really help anybody that's never done it and make them understand what they're doing as far as racing.
Diane Pondle's bright yellow Camaro looks like it was built for the drag strip.
No, it's just regular stock. Yep, but it does go. It does really go. It's a lot of fun to drive.
With the last word at the Corey Airport, John Last, Erie News Now.
The first of the two drag racing events at the Corey Airport was held Sunday. The next event will be held on on August 21st. For more information on that race and how to enter your vehicle, you can check our website at WNYNewsNow.com. A federal judge dismissed a sexual assault allegation against actor Kevin Spacey this week. Actor Anthony Rapp alleged that Spacey sexually assaulted him at a Manhattan party in 1986 when he was 14 years old. In the lawsuit, Rapp is seeking damages for what he alleges was assault, battery, and infliction of emotional distress by Spacey. However, the judge is dismissing the allegations, stating that Rapp's claims are not protected by New York's Child Victims Act. The act typically allows individuals to come forward after the statute of limitations has expired. The judge's verdict comes after Spacey was recently charged with 4 counts of sexual assault by British authorities. Spacey's legal team has not commented on any of the recent rulings. Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf has announced that he has COVID-19 for the second time in less than 2 years. In a Monday evening Facebook post, the governor said he tested positive for COVID-19. In the post, Wolf said his symptoms are mild as he recently received his second vaccine booster shot and is grateful about it. He also said it is isolating at home in accordance with CDC guidance. This is Governor Wolf's second bout with COVID-19. He first contracted the virus in December of 2022. Staffing shortages and a lack of funding continue to be issues for emergency medical professionals around Pennsylvania. Today at the state capitol, EMS professionals from across the state are calling for legislative action. Brendan Scallon tells us more about the current challenges for EMS agencies.
EMS is in crisis.
EMS services are in peril.
These financial struggles have become dire.
EMS professionals are sounding the alarm. Many agencies around the state now just hanging on by a thread.
Are on the brink, just months, weeks, or even days from insolvency.
The clock is ticking as expenses are increasing and the stakes could not be higher.
To ensure that we can fund emergency medical services in the Commonwealth, or people are going to lose their lives.
Rising costs for fuel, staff retention, and equipment paired with a low Medicaid reimbursement rate are making it harder for first responders to answer the call.
Ambulance providers receive below-cost reimbursement for 70% of all transports.
Past president of the Ambulance Association of Pennsylvania, Barry Albertson, says the funding model for EMS is inadequate and now unsustainable.
Since 2002, after implementation of the Medicare ambulance fee schedule, costs have risen 70%, while reimbursement rates have risen only 27%.
We have to continue to increase this reimbursement rate because it's vitally important for our EMS providers.
Representative Martin Causer is the sponsor of House Bill 2434. His bill would raise the Medicaid reimbursement rate for EMS providers, especially in rural areas.
I am truly worried about this crisis and the lives that could be lost if we don't act now.
Lawmakers say it's a bipartisan issue that both the House and Senate need to act on fast.
And I don't want to say that it's critical because it's at a breaking point right now.
Coming up, the trial for 2 officers responsible for the death of George Floyd has been postponed. And later, what political analysts are saying about the new gun legislation. But first, we return with a look at our full weather forecast when WNY News Now returns.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
How prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes! Make a plan today.
Celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer with a day of fun activities for children in the Jamestown area. Hosted by Collaborative Children's Solutions and the City of Jamestown. The first part of the day happens at the Northwest Arena as we ring in summer vacation with a party featuring snacks, music, and more. In addition, several groups will be on hand speaking with both kids and parents about the plethora of activities available to keep our youth occupied. Then later in the evening, finish out the home run day with a night of fun at the Tarp Skunk baseball game, along with a fireworks show at Russell Dietrich Jr. Park. As a PE teacher, I know the importance of keeping kids busy this summer, so stop on down on Friday, June 24th, as we celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer. You can learn more online at ccsolutions716.com and watch for updates on the Collaborative Children's Solutions Facebook page.
I'm a survivor.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense weather.
I don't know. What do you people think? Do we think we need to get Bronson out there with his car and drag race it? I think so. Let's take a look at the rainfall totals over the past 24 hours. Now, we've only had less than a half inch worth of rainfall across much of the region here. You can see here Bemis Point at about 3/10 of an inch. Jamestown officially a little more than 1/10 of an inch, but we're going to add more onto this as we go throughout the day. Of course, the rain is going to continue, so it's going to be kind of a soggy day. But we're in a little bit of a break downtown right now. We're at 60 right now as a noon hour, but it is breezy with that south wind at 15 and a wind gust at 21. So again, notice the dew point as well, very close to that air temperature. So again, you also might be dealing with a little bit of low-lying fog out there as well. So occasional showers through the afternoon today. Tomorrow should be mainly dry. We may catch an isolated shower, but it should be mainly dry. More rain showers for late week. I'm sorry. And Pride Fest is also looking wet. I'm sorry. So this is an early look at the Pride Fest forecast. So the festivities start at 10 o'clock, 61 degrees at 10 o'clock with rain showers by the time we go into the afternoon, 67. It will be cool and the rain is going to continue through the afternoon hours. So bring the rain gear with you if you are heading downtown to the Pride Fest at Winter Garden Plaza on Saturday. Just keep the rain gear handy because you'll likely need it. So let's take a look at the convective outlook. The Storm Prediction Center has placed the far southern section of the southern tier under that low-end marginal risk. That's a level 1 out of 5. And this is basically for that far southern section of the southern tier down into Warren County, Pennsylvania. And if any storms do pop up today, it'll be mainly a gusty wind threat. But the threat today, relatively minor. You can see the rain showers. We're in a little bit of a break right now, but we're going to see more rain showers developing across the afternoon hours. This is all sparked out ahead of the next cold front. This is going to move on through tonight, and then it's going to bring in more chilly air for at least a little bit while longer. So the newest run of the computer modeling shows you the rain showers continuing through the afternoon hours. We may catch a few pockets of maybe some moderate to heavy rainfall at times. It tapers off from the evening hours onward, so overnight should be partly cloudy. Then tomorrow should be an overall nice day, partly sunny though. I don't think we're going to see much sunshine. I think it will be filtered by some clouds. But by the time we go into the later part of the afternoon and into the evening hours, here comes another batch of rain, and that is going to continue through Thursday. So we start tomorrow around 52, 68 at noon. We should rise up into the lower 70s. The better chance for rain on Wednesday is going to come later in the afternoon. Now the next 7 days of your life, powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. So we're up to 73 tomorrow, 69 again on Thursday. Just a few scattered showers through Friday. There's the better chance of rain over the weekend on Saturday. Sunday, mainly dry, a isolated shower. And then it does look like we should squeak out another dry day, Bronson, on Monday.
Rain, go away. Next month could mark the beginning of a new era for the Denver Broncos. As why? The team is up for sale. Prospective buyers are currently bidding to become the new owners of the team. Of the potential buyers, one frontrunner is Walmart heir Robert Walton. The purchase is expected to become one of the most expensive deals in the sports history at around $4.5 billion. Broncos head coach Nathaniel Hackett says that the team is currently focused on getting ready for next season, regardless of who ultimately ends up purchasing the team. The family that owns the team now has owned them for nearly 4 decades. NFL owners will first need to approve the sale before the team is sold. The sale is predicted to take place around July. The state trial for 2 former Minneapolis police officers charged in George Floyd's killing has been delayed until next year. A judge ruled Monday that the 2 officers won't be tried until January of 2023. Jury selection had been scheduled to begin next week. The 2 men are charged with aiding and abetting second-degree unintentional murder and aiding and abetting second-degree manslaughter. The pair have pled not guilty. The third former officer, Thomas Lane, did plead guilty to aiding and abetting second-degree manslaughter last month as part of a plea deal. In his ruling Monday to delay, the judge said the publicity surrounding Lane's plea deal, as well as the recent federal conviction of the 3 former officers for violating Floyd's civil rights earlier this year, would make it difficult for the 2 ex-officers to get a fair trial. The charges stem from Floyd's death in May of 2020, when a fellow officer pressed his knee into Floyd's neck and back for over 9 minutes, as Floyd was handcuffed and lying on his stomach. He was convicted last spring for Floyd's murder. When there's a mass shooting, political analysts say there's usually a wave of support for gun control, and then soon after, the momentum for that kind of momentum fizzles out. However, they believe that this time around, things could be different, and they outline what kind of gun control legislation is most likely to pass in Congress.
Americans are strongly opposed to people with mental health problems owning guns. About 87% of Americans have said that they would support legislation like that. And we know that Republicans have really made that their battle cry when it comes to gun restrictions, that it's more about mental health and less about the guns. So that's sort of a layup in terms of being able to pass some legislation on that front.
Todd Belt, the Director of Political Management at George Washington University, also adds that extending the Federal Registry of Gun Sales is also getting some support. He says in the past, Republicans have been opposed to it for privacy reasons, but he says public support for this kind of legislation is growing. However, Belt believes that bans on assault rifles or even a ban on high magazine clips are less likely to make it through, saying that Republicans are strongly against these.
One of the reasons that the gun rights advocates have been so successful is because they have a very intense minority behind them. They're not the majority, but they are very intensive, and they make their voices felt at the ballot box.
The House is also trying to pass their own legislation on gun control, which includes things like limiting the magazine size and increasing the age of someone who can buy a semi-automatic rifle from 18 to 21 years old. It's likely to pass the House because Democrats have the numbers. However, it's likely that it will fail in the Senate because it might not have the support it needs to pass. On Wednesday, survivors of the Buffalo and Uvalde mass shootings are scheduled to testify before Congress. We can expect them to encourage members to pass gun control legislation. Next, the Jamestown Battle of the Classes returns and what transpired at the event.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Visit the Northwest Arena on Friday, June 24th, as we celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer. Learn about activities available to youth in the Jamestown area, plus end the night with fireworks at the Tarp Skunks game. Learn more online at ccsolutions716.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Students from all different grade levels at Jamestown High School took to Strider Field for Battle of the Classes Monday night for various games and activities, all to support a local women's shelter. Our Alyssa Wright joins us in the studio with more.
Yes, Bronson, the students competed in 12 different events, ranging from a relay race to tug of war and a hula hoop race. The competitors were separated into teams by grade level, and each student was sporting a unique costume. I saw rainbows, maids, dinosaurs, and fairies. The students participating in the event were cheered on by their fellow classmates watching from the sidelines. While the Battle of the Classes is usually held indoors, this year was different. Students and spectators were invited to Strider Field to participate and watch in the festivities. Battle of the Classes is a great way for students to have fun, interact with friends and peers, and let their competitive side shine through. But the event also doubled as a fundraiser. This year, the Friendly Battle accumulated $8,524 for the UCAN Women's Shelter.
Wow, that was pretty good to go to. I know that you said in Faulkner you've had a lot of different experiences, but it looks the same from when I went to Jamestown.
It looked like a whole lot of fun.
That's it for us today.
Go home freshman!
News continues at WNY News Now 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com and on our mobile app. Download it today free in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. We'll see you next time.